Hey guys, and welcome back to another Woodbrew video.
In this week's video, we're building an outdoor grill cart because the patio space is pretty much finished, and now we need a way to enjoy it.
It's football season, so we want to grill out. This project is super simple and super easy, so with all that said, let's get started.
Before we jump into this project, I want to share with you guys how we get our cut list. One of our most common asked questions is about cut list when we do these SketchUp videos, and SketchUp is sponsoring this week's video, but we've kind of switched up the tone of these videos, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this a bit more, where it's just a small pro tip at the beginning of the video. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to show you guys how you can create a cut list, and this is actually a new way for us creating it, and it's so much easier than the ways we've done it in the past. So hopefully you guys get some good information out of this, and let's go. So basically, this is the grill cart almost completely done. I just need to add the slats in here real quick. So I'm going to click R on the keyboard for the rectangle tool, bring this out, and I want this to be 3.5 inches. This is happening in the bottom right corner by 16 inches. Click enter. I'm going to hit the P for push pull that up 0.75 inches for 3/4 of an inch. Hit enter. Then I'm going to create a component with this. So I'm going to triple click, selects all of it, hit G on the keyboard, and it brings up this window. Now this is really important. We need to name this correctly. So this is going to be the bottom slats. Hit enter for create. I'm going to replace that because I've already created it. And then M for move that back. Hit B on the keyboard to bring up the texture panel. Now I've named these texture panels to what they actually are. So this is Southern Yellow Pine. So if I hit B again, I can actually put that texture on there, and it's important that the name is correct because you'll see why in a bit. I'll hit M for move, hit Alt or Option, that brings up the little plus sign, and that means I can duplicate. I'll bring it over here, hit the divide sign on the keyboard, and by 5, that's not enough, so I'll hit divide again by 6, and there we go, equally spaced slats. So that's it. That is the grill cart right there. And now I need to get a cut list for it. So I'm gonna go to my extension warehouse if you don't already have this, and type in cut list, search, it's this first one, and you'll want to download and install the cut list extension, and it'll show up here once you're done with that. Now, I'm not going to jump heavily into this. There's a bunch of good videos online if you want to deep dive into how to get the most out of this extension, but here's the basics. So I want to go over to layout. This is where you can decide what kind of boards you're actually using for the project or you're going to purchase. So we're using 2x4s, which the nominal size for that is 8/4 by 4 inches and 8 feet long. And yes, that's good. And then if you're going to do sheet goods, then you can do 4x8 or whatever else you're going to do if you're using plywood or something like that. We aren't using any sheet goods here, so I'm actually going to turn that off. And yeah, all right. Actually, we are technically because we're using a panel, so I'll keep it on. I'll click run. Okay, and here you go. This is the layout, so this is where they recommend you cut each of your pieces out. Now you can see that my table top is actually a part of this. That's not very realistic because we aren't actually creating the tabletop. It's a project panel, so we don't need to cut the individual boards out and glue them together, so you can ignore that. But this will help you lay out all of your pieces, especially it's super handy whenever you're using sheet goods like plywood. So I'm going to exit out of that, and this is what I really care about here. This is a part list with all the sizes I need. So those bottom slats we just created, they're 16 inches by 3.5 by 3/4. We need 7 of those. That easy. It also tells you how many total feet of board you're gonna need. So if we're buying 8-foot boards, we're gonna need 2 of them because it's 9.31 feet. And yeah, there you go. All of this is already here. This is the project panel, so it's gonna be 37.5 inches by 17.5 inches by 1.25 inches thick. So we'll cut that out of a pre-made project panel. It's even already labeled here as that. So this is it. This is how we've started to create our cut list. You can also print the cut list. It makes it super simple, and this is just an awesome extension to have. If you guys are interested in learning more about SketchUp or more about this extension in general, be sure to check the links in the description below to other videos we have, as well as some resources that SketchUp's provided for you guys to check out. So check those out, and let's get into the project.
As always, first thing to do is cut down our materials. We need 4 4x4s for the legs, 8 2x4s for the top and bottom stretchers, and then we will be using some leftover 1x4s from our last video of the planter. We're going to cut roughly what we need for just the legs and stretchers now, and we will get to the 1x4 slats for the bottom shelf when we know the exact measurements we need after assembly. Next, we want to go ahead and plane down all of the boards just to get that round corner gone. We just took off a little bit at a time. We wanted to make the 2x4s and 4x4s a little bit smaller so we could get rid of a little bit of weight. This table would be extremely heavy if we didn't, and we want to be able to move it around easily if we needed to. We also really like the idea of having more of a rectangular leg than a square out of the 4x4s. When we ripped down the 4x4s, we had to rip half, flip it over, and then do the other half. This left a little bit of a burr, or whatever you want to call it, just a little piece down the center, so we brought those back over to the planer to clean it up. Now we can cut those pieces to the exact length we need. I don't know exactly why we did it this way, it just felt right and a little bit easier to manage this way with not so many pieces. We chose to use pocket holes for the way we want to assemble this, so first we have to drill the holes. For the 4 stretcher pieces that are going right under the tabletop, we did 3 pocket holes along the edge so we can screw the top down. We will be assembling one side at a time and then attaching them together. The 2 legs in a short bottom stretcher gets put together first. This little piece is 3.5 inches up the leg, which will then be 3.5 inches off the ground. It's also 3/8 inches pushed in with these spacers. Now just for the pocket screws. The top small stretcher is flush with the ends of the legs because we have to screw the tabletop down to these. Now just repeat that process for the longer stretchers to tie the 2 sides together. We almost made a mistake and screwed these in upside down, but luckily we just caught it. Now let's cut the tabletop to length and width and get that attached. Remember those 1x4s? Now we can cut those to length and get them stapled down, making sure they are all evenly spaced and square. For finish, we are once again using the Total Boat Halcyon Amber finish, which we love just as much as the clear version. Also, I would totally recommend putting whatever you're spraying up somewhere. We weren't thinking and sprayed it dirt all up on the bottom of the legs. Anyways, don't forget you can use the code Woodbrew to get 20% off any Total Boat purchase. After the finish dried, we added a bottle opener and some feet to lift it off the ground just a bit. That's going to wrap up this week's video and the entire outdoor series. We can't wait to hang out here when the weather cools down just a little bit and grill. We hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you can watch all the other outdoor videos in the link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.